So I'm calling the select board meeting to order on April Fool's Day, April 1st, 2025 at 6:31 PM. We are going to start off with our normal public comment, which is the ability for anyone to speak to us about anything that's not on the agenda for no more than 3 minutes. Vanessa? Nobody? So nobody? All right, our first item is a public hearing for a liquor license to be added to one of our local businesses. Mr. Purple?
Notice is hereby given under Chapter 138 of the Mass General Laws, Southborough Golf Practice and Learning Center. Michael Hightower, manager, has applied for a general on-premise wine and malt beverage license on the premise located at 22 Turnpike Road, Southborough, Mass, described as an 18.2 acre parcel, 12 acres used for golf practice facility, including an 800 square foot single floor, 2-room golf studio, 15,000 square foot teeing ground with 50 hitting mats and grass teeing area, 500 square foot patio space for 12 seats, and a 700 square foot 1-floor pro shop with 4 rooms. Southborough Select Board will hold a public hearing Tuesday, April 1st, 2025, 6:30 PM in the McAuliffe Hearing Room, the Southborough Townhouse, 17 Common Street, virtually through a link located at www.southboroughma.gov/674/virtual meetings. All interested parties are encouraged to view and or participate.
Thank you. So Mike, you can either go here or you can go up there, wherever you're more comfortable. Here you can sit.
Yeah.
Okay, if that makes a difference. So just pull up one of, and we usually have one of the chairs sitting there, so sorry about that. Just pull up
Yeah.
one of, oh, there's one, I can't
Yeah.
see it from here.
The shorty.
All right. So introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your business, because it's a good business, and then
Yeah.
we will talk about what you want to do.
Okay, great. My name is Mike Hightower, resident of Westboro, Mass. Recently purchased the Southborough Golf Practice Learning Center in March of 24. I've been in the golf business my whole life. I'm a golf course superintendent and athletic field manager. So I came across I worked for the Bartolinis for a few years, helping them manage their facility. So it was kind of a natural transition where they asked me to buy it, and I did. In the last year, we've kind of just started off on par with what the Bartolinis have been doing and just slowly added some improvements and amenities over the last year. Our most recent addition has been golf ball tracking through TrackMan. We're currently installing that, and we should be online hopefully Friday.
What does that mean?
So TrackMan means it's a system where you hit your golf ball and the ball flight and all the measurables, swing speed, ball rotation are all measured by radars out on the driving range floor. So it'll give you a lot of detail on your golf, the impact with the ball and how you're affecting it. And allows you to make changes within your swing and helps you with your club distances and all kinds of stuff. It's an awesome technology. I actually tried it for the first time last fall, and I was like, we have to do this immediately. It's great. It's got some games, so there's the gamification effect of practicing, which makes it a lot more fun. And then you can also simulate golf, so you can play different golf courses, and it'll give you the same kind of simulator effect that it's pretty popular now indoors. So with that, we felt that there's an opportunity to kind of make practicing a little bit more social. So you can go up with a friend and share a bay and play a simulated golf course or just play games together or whatever. So I kind of thought that having the ability to offer a beer or a seltzer or something would kind of further make, golf's a very social sport. So try to make golf practice social as well and breathe a little life into the place that way.
It is indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so you want to explain exactly what you want to serve there, where you want to serve it, how you want this all to work?
Sure. Yeah, so I would plan to serve beer and seltzer and I don't know, like rosé in a can. I'm gluten free, so I don't really drink beer, but, we'd be, serving those kind of beverages. My intent is somebody would come up and have maybe one, two at the most. We're building a patio, right outside the pro shop area where you buy your balls. Just a little, probably 600 square foot, sitting space. So it'd be 3 or 4 tables. So after you hit, if you wanted to sit down and finish your drink, you could do that. But the consumption would take place there, and then would also be, taking place in both the covered and uncovered hitting bays along the tee line. So we'd have a server out there. Everybody will be tip certified and just kind of monitoring everything. We also have, we've recently added, a camera system, so we have, good visibility, of that whole area all the time. We have, 12 cameras out in the hitting area so that we can make sure that there's, no misuse of golf clubs and or alcohol. So we'd be serving, the golf, alcohol would be stationed inside of our pro shop. And we would be serving that. The server would come get it out of the window from the attendant working the cash register. And, that's how that would work. We have a nice storage area, locked storage area where we can keep inventory. So it should be pretty secure. I've had a liquor license before about 10 years ago. I owned a restaurant for a couple of years. So kind of familiar with the ins and outs of that part of the business.
Okay. I actually went there today, so I know how this is going to work, so I'm not going to ask any questions right now. So, Al?
No, I don't have any questions. Anything that promotes business in Southborough is pretty good by me.
I don't have any questions.
Quick question. So this is a new liquor license. Do we have a limit on these licenses? Are we in any danger of hitting that limit with this or?
We do have some of the wine and beer licenses that are open. It's usually the all alcohol licenses that are more scarce.
Okay,
So we do have, I don't actually have the number.
but at least a
we have
little bit of
a-
capacity. If something else comes
Yes.
up, we have capacity to do that.
Correct.
But no other questions about it. Great to have another business in town. Thank you.
I think you kind of anticipated you anticipated a question that I had was about supervision of the alcohol consumption on the hitting bays, and I see a little bit of the difference between the covered ones, and then there's a long area where it's all just open, which is pretty far from.
Yes.
So how frequently would you have someone going and checking, or and you get the cameras, and are the cameras kind of showing like in real time what's going on in the headquarters, for lack of a better term, the office building?
Sure. Yeah. So we actually have a big screen television. So we have our window. I don't know if you've been there before. So there's a window where you come up and buy balls, right? And then right next to that window up here is a big screen television that has 9 cameras on it. So the 9 most important cameras that they need to see are there. So it's there's basically 18 hitting bays, and then they're grouped in 3s. So I have 1 camera in each of those bays, and then I have cameras aimed out at the open hitting bays as well.
Yeah.
So they'll have visibility of that, and then we'll have again a server there as well, who will be monitoring that. So I mean, our concern is obviously making sure there's no over serving and most of all, no underage consumption at the property. Is kind of we're focused on that. Again, I've been an operator before, so I know the importance of making sure, planning ahead to make sure that you're not going to be compromised.
Thank you.
So just to be clear, you can't tell this necessarily from what was applied, but what Mike has done to make sure people are safe, that are consuming, that are on the patio. He's building a screen. There's a net that's going to be there. He's already got the poles up for it.
Sure.
Because the carols, the closed in cubbies where they're actually hitting the balls at the front is perpendicular to that. So you're sitting here and they're there. So that way, when you go the wrong way, it's going to hit that net and
Right.
bounce back out. So the people having their on the 19th hole or whatever you call it at a driving range should be safe.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
Okay, is that it? Mhm. Is there any public comment on the application for this liquor license? Vanessa? Nothing? Okay. All right, anything else you want to say, Mike, while you're here? We do support your business. The select board is really pro-business. We're trying to get more business in this town. We
Awesome.
need more, so good luck. But based on what I saw today, you're going to do well.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm very excited about it. It's a beautiful property and the Bartolini's did a beautiful job building it. So we're just kind of building on that. So it's awesome. It's a good
The
opportunity.
Town owns a 9-hole golf course in town too, so
Yes,
we're in the business of operating that golf course, and
Right.
every year we're doing better and better and better as far as number of rounds being played. So
yeah, yeah. Well, golf is extremely popular right now. So it's good. Hopefully there can be some synergy between our place, my place and yours. So it's good.
Okay, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So move.
Second,
All in favor? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the requested liquor license for the golf driving range?
So move.
second,
All in favor?
Awesome.
Okay, so we've done our part. Now, you've got,
Good
you've
luck.
still got another
I
part.
got
to
the
go here.
ABCC
Yeah.
to deal with, right? Yeah, so great. Awesome.
Good luck.
Thanks, guys.
Good luck.
Take care.
If you need some extra golf balls, we have a lot of golf balls off of our course that go off on Lattisquama Road.
Okay, yeah, I'll look in the.
People collect them along there.
Yeah.
They literally have buckets that the balls go in, so buckets of balls are in a couple houses,
Which-
so
We're trying to deal with, but have not been successful. So
Well, I'm sorry.
we're trying to
trying to
fix
deal
it,
with
but
balls
it's
that
not a
off
easy
the
problem to
course.
fix.
Yeah, for sure.
As you know, men have to kill that ball, right? So they just go, boom. So, yeah.
Mostly to the right.
Thank
right.
you very much.
Yeah,
Nice to
thank
meet you. All right, moving on. Okay, this is exciting. Okay. So Peg was dying to come tonight and talk to us and just wanted to tell us all kinds of stuff. Anyway, come on up, Peg. So I think everyone knows Pam is retiring on April 11th, correct, Vanessa? The 11th. Tomorrow is her going away party at the senior center starting at 11:30. So hopefully we'll have a lot of people that will go by and say bye to her. And talking about a smooth transition, Peg has applied for the job. Peg Leonard's applied for the job to replace Pam. She's gone through the normal process of being interviewed by various people. Vanessa, you want to come up and actually talk about the process that we've had so far to get us here tonight? Don't worry, Peg.
Peg,
We're still
for a
gonna-
few minutes.
We're still going to put you on the spot in a
You
minute.
haven't given her the 50 questions.
I answered them all already. So we did start with an internal posting in this department because we thought we might have some talent that would be willing to take this leap. So along with Doug Peck, who I'm grateful for his assistance, we'd like to also pull in another department head when we're doing these types of recruitments. So I want to give thanks to Ryan Donovan, who also served on our interview panel. And then we the second phase of the recruitment was Peg, who was our chosen candidate, meeting with the town administrator and the finance director to continue to assess her skills and whatever kind of development might be helpful to her in this role. So we're very excited to present our recommendation to you tonight, as noted in your packet.
So thank you. Thank you. So the only thing I want to say before Peg speaks for about 30 minutes is I went down to the senior center in the last few weeks and sat down with Pam. And this is what Pam said about Peg. She said, Kathy, of all the people I've ever met in my life, my whole life, my long life, I've never met a finer person than Peg, other than my husband. So that I thought was very high praise to be able to say that of everybody you've ever met, you're it, other than my spouse, which was appropriate.
Very nice.
So-
Thank you for saying that.
So why don't you just remind everybody what you do now, okay, how long you've been there and why you think this job is the right one for you to go to next.
Okay. So right now I'm the program manager and I research and book all the programs during the year. I've been there since 2008. So 17 years I've been doing this type of work and sat with Pam many years, 17 years. And I really do feel that I can perform at that level and I'm really looking forward to it. It's something that I feel will end a wonderful career here at the Southborough Senior Center someday.
So our job tonight is to finish the process and vote to appoint Peg to replace Pam on, is it official April 11th? Is that? how this-
The effective date would be Monday, April 14th.
Okay, all right, 11th is a Friday.
Yes.
No, Patriots Day is the following Monday. Patriots Day is always, so Carol, Patriots Day is third Monday, so Patriots Day is late this time. So, okay, so anyone have any questions for Peg? Sam?
I don't think so. I mean, again, anything that you see that in the near future doing differently?
I'd like to bring maybe more modern technology in as far as our registration program. And also I've been watching recently a lot of the counseling that our outreach coordinator does, and I feel like it's getting more and more of a need for younger seniors and then seniors taking care of their parents and health issues. So I think those two things at the beginning, I would like to work on.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Marguerite?
No, the senior center is one of the jewels of the town and
Mm.
I think it's in good hands.
Thank you.
Al?
No questions.
Andrew?
I don't have any questions. Thank you for stepping up to this position and I think it's an ideal situation.
Thank you.
I hope everybody here feels supported. We do support you. As I've heard me say many times, 4 out of 5 up here are seniors too. So we're all in the same group. We don't do enough. We know that. You know, the budget is tight, but clearly you make every penny count. It is a happy place when you go there with all the things going on. So it is fun going down there. I went down, I don't know, a few weeks ago to, I was invited months ago just to come talk to the seniors. And I thought I was meeting with seniors one at a time. Instead, it was a big room full of people. But
Totally
I had the best time. I immediately said, I want to do this again. It was, I mean, I got asked, you know, good pointy questions, but everybody was so polite and I really had a good time. So we all should do that again too. So anyway, so truly, congratulations. We're going
Thank
to vote. But I think I know how we're going to vote. So we will support you. You just need to let us know when there's something to let us know
Mhm.
and we'll go forward.
Thank you.
Okay. So Marguerite, you want to make the motion?
I move that did you go Margaret?
I'm sorry,
Do you go with Margaret
Peg.
Peg?
That sounds so full.
I move that we accept Peg as the director of the senior center. Peg Leonard is the director of the senior, center,
Effective.
effective the
14th.
14th of April, 2025.
Second.
Right. All in favor? So see how tough that was. See how tough it
Congratulations.
was.
Thank you so much to everyone. Thank you. Unreal.
So does anyone from Council on Aging want to say anything? Doug, anything you want to say?
This is such a wonderful team. Sorry to lose one member, but to have the other person come in. 17 years, you want to think about how much the senior center has grown in that time. It was largely caused by Peg and Pam. They were the leaders of it, and I think this is just perfect for the town and perfect for seniors.
That's all, this is all good stuff. So when do we start advertising for Peg's position?
I've actually already sent her a
Yeah.
draft job posting to review. So momentarily.
Yeah.
Right, so we got to get that done too. So
Yeah.
great. So congratulations.
Thank you, everyone, so much.
All right.
What a great group I have here. I did not even know they were coming, so. Thank you. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you, John.
Congratulations.
He's been helping me. Thanks so much.
Talk amongst yourselves.
What a group. Is Jim here? I can't see him. Bye. Semino's remote. All right, Jim, you're next. Vanessa, can you bring Paul Semino over? and Zoom? Welcome, Mr. Haggerty.
Hello, thanks for having me.
So Jim and Paul are going to talk about all the details of the upcoming two town meetings, the annual and the special. And then Jim's going to talk about the town election on May 13th.
Okay, the town meeting coming up next Monday is pretty straightforward. Starts at 6:30, check-in time is at 5:30. All the warrants and presentations have been posted on the town meeting webpage. The clicker vendor will attend the town meeting to test and operate the clicker system. The check-in process is going to be slightly different, and we're doing a different process now to test it in anticipation of the special town meeting where we'll have a cast of thousands. We'll still ask people to scan the back of the license, but we're going to separate into two tables. So instead of at one table scanning, getting your wristband and the clicker, we're going to separate those two functions. So as you come into the lobby of Trotter, there'll be 4 tables on the right. They'll check you in and give you the slip of paper that pops out of the machine and ask you to continue straight ahead. So we'll just separate those functions to see if we can, in anticipation of potentially having 2,000 people come through in an hour and change at the high school. So we're going to check that up. As we've done in the past, parents with children can sit with their children in the auditorium, except one more time, sorry, in the cafeteria.
So you're still talking about annual now, right?
Only the annual.
Okay.
Yeah. Parents, if they choose to sit with their children in the cafeteria, they must remain with the child. There's no pre-registration necessary. People that are in the cafeteria, the voters will receive a clicker with an orange lanyard. Same setup as before. There'll be full audio video. There'll be a big screen up front. They'll see the same stuff that you're seeing in the auditorium. There'll be a microphone to ask questions, a camera to display their image in the gymnasium, a camera on the microphone so the moderator can see them. There'll be a deputy moderator and clerk's tellers in the cafeteria as well. So same thing we've done in the past, gives people the same options for that. Girl Scouts will sell food in the lobby and they'll present the colors. We'll continue with being respectful of the school's rules. There'll be no food allowed in the auditorium. If people want to bring drinks in, they must be in a sealed container like a screw top water bottle like this or a Yeti, something like that. We'll have extra handicap spaces in front of Trotter. We'll also have some wheelchairs out front. We're going to continue to use our audio video vendor. iMedia will manage the audio video aspect of the meeting. Our town's IT department will live stream it on the town website. We won't have that link ready until the start of the meeting. It'll be on the website, and Sam will broadcast that on government channels. We have banners up all around town, and tomorrow morning, one more is going up on St. Mark's lawn. That's pretty much it. Just pretty much a standard setup for town meeting. Any questions about the regular town meeting?
Paul, if you've got something to say, just let us know.
I don't have anything to add.
We can't hear you.
Muted, Paul.
My microphone doesn't say muted.
No, we can't hear you at all. So maybe log off and log back on,
Okay.
because it doesn't say you're muted. What did you say?
One more try. Can you hear me now?
Oh, he's still talking. Can you hear us, Paul? Just nod.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. We can't hear you at all.
I'll log out.
Jim, I do have a question about, you said it's going to be basically live streamed on Southborough Access Media as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll go on the government channels.
Yeah.
And it goes off of the town website as well through the IT department.
Okay.
this is going to be up on the screen in a second, but I just want to get it clear next so you're not looking around.
And as he logged off, I guess he's gonna come back on, so you gotta watch. for him. Okay, go ahead, Jim.
Okay, so let's segue to the special town meeting, which is going to be, unfortunately, because of a conflict with the baseball game, we're going to have to move that to Sunday, May the 11th, okay? I figured you'd be okay with that.
April Fool's Day. I knew somebody was
Okay,
gonna. do
just somebody had to
I
do
get
it,
it.
right? Somebody
I
had to
get
do it. Okay,
something. You could do better than that. That's
all
not
right,
bad.
all right, just try it.
Friday at midnight, right?
Exactly, exactly. Okay. The meeting is set for 9 o'clock. We're gonna allow check-in starting at 7:30. The warrant will be posted on the webpage when it's signed. And on the screen here, we have a visual of Algonquin. It's the same one you have in front of you here. And let me just crank this right on here. So we anticipate there are roughly 70 people that'll be involved in producing this event. All right, 55 people on the clerk's side, plus the audio video vendors, the police officers. There's a lot of moving parts to make this work. And at the top here, this area right here where you see the yellow mark here, this is the entrance. So Bartlett Street is out here. So 99% of the people coming from Southborough are we could just get that off the screen right there.
I think she's trying to have Paul Semino.
There we go. Okay. So most of the people coming, almost all the people coming from Southborough will be coming up the road here and then turning down this driveway. It's better than 3 football fields coming down the driveway. So out at the street out here, we're going to have a Northborough police officer in a cruiser because it's easy to drive by there and miss it. We'll have a banner out there as well. There'll be custodians from the high school at this block right here with the wire setup, and we're going to use a process that they use for the graduations. At this split right here, the custodians will direct older voters and people with families to this parking area right here. And that has 162 spaces. By the way, just to back up for a second, why are we doing this at Algonquin versus Trotter? We could fit a couple of thousand people potentially between the gymnasium and everything at Trotter. But the problem is you only have between Trotter and Neera, you only have 350 parking spaces. It's not going to work. And there is more than double this at Algonquin. That's the reason why we're at Algonquin. So anyway, the officers are going to, the custodian's going to push older people and families with kids over here. Everybody else is going to get down here. In this section right here, it's over 1,000 feet from here to the entrance, which is right here. So the rec department is going to have vans that'll drive through here to bring people down here. I'm trying to do worst case scenario that it's going to be a miserable, cold, rainy day. So we just want to have that on hand in case we need the vans to drive people. This is the primary entrance to the school right here. This is the rotunda. Could you switch to the second slide, please? And then we're going to jump right back to this one. This is what the rotunda looks like on a ground level as soon as that thing on the bottom goes out of the way. It's the main entrance to the school. Sorry, it's not looking real good right there. There you go. That's the main entrance. So when they refer to the rotunda, that's it. So this is the door right here. Well, all the people parking in front of the school come right in through here. Can you jump back to the other one, please? Thank you. So there's roughly 400 parking spaces on the front, the right and left that we have out front here. Thank you. Okay, so all the people that park in front of the building are going to come right in here through this rotunda. We'll be moving an awful lot of the supplies that we use for town meetings and town elections from Trotter and our U-Haul storage over to help assist with this. So when people enter through this area, only place they can go is this pink area in the middle. And this is one of the gymnasium of the school that's going to be used as the check-in. We will have over 30 people in this room to be able to check people in. Two-stage process like we're going to do at Trotter. That's why I want to try next Monday to see if it's going to work. Everybody comes in this door right here and they pass through into this blue area. That's where the gyms are. These are double gyms. The bleachers will be pulled out and we'll have 800 seats on the ground. Trivia question. Which is more expensive, white or brown chairs?
White.
Yeah, by a quarter. So I rented brown chairs. We saved some money on this. It's a thing. I didn't realize that. So anyway, so people are going to come in here. There's 1,400 plus seats in the bleachers and 800 seats on the ground. Just for what it's worth, everybody will facing in this direction. So this is where all of the voters will sit in here. If somebody has, a parent wants to bring a child, no problem. They're going to come in, check in like everybody else, and they'll be directed over here to the auditorium. And this is just a larger version of the cafeteria experience that you'll have at our annual town meeting. They'll be right over to here. If people want to come in the back entrance of the school off of Route 20, which is a little tricky to get from Southborough, they'll come in here and they can go right in this door right here. When these lots fill up, which hopefully that happens, we'll direct people on the back and they'll come right in right here. So it's a pretty straightforward process. We have the school has been excellent working with us. Nobody's going to get lost in the middle of this because we're going to block it all off. You come in one way, you come out, you're good to go. Pretty straightforward.
How many parking places in total at Algonquin? 700 something?
Repeat that, please.
How many parking places at Algonquin in total?
695. Well, those people are voters too. Most people, so they'll be part of the mix. Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, oh,
Yeah. So anyway, so pretty much the same experience you're going to have at the rest of it. There'll be a deputy moderator, there'll be clerks inside, all that other good stuff. I don't know if the Girl Scouts will be there. I said we'll have one Northborough officer outside directing with traffic. We'll have 2 officers inside. We'll have the typical banners around town plus several more. The school's been excellent about this. Some logistical challenges we had here. There'll be no home games that day, so that'll make it easier for us. There'll be no youth sports until 3 o'clock. And they'll all be kids that have away games. Typically, they would park their cars. The kids that can drive would park cars and the buses would be in to pick them up and they would be in their locker rooms changing. That's all been moved off site just to ensure we don't have adults using bathrooms while kids are in there as well. Also talk to the custodians to ensure that they'll be restocked and checked with paper products throughout the day. Again, our audio video vendor, Amedia, will be on site. They'll manage the audio video aspects of this. It'll be live streamed on the town's website. And Sam will also broadcast it on government channels. And like I said before, our AV vendor will be there to test and manage all the stuff.
So 695 spaces, if we have 1,800 people there, right? You're assuming a lot of people will come at least 2 to a car, right? So what if there's not enough room for all the cars?
Sure. There are other ways to do it. There are other spots on here that are not legal spots out here on both sides of this road and out here as well. And even back down here and right along in here. There's ways to fit in another 100+ spots. We went through that as well. Be a nice problem to have. My fear is that we have 300 people show up and we've gone through all this aggravation. That's what keeps me up at night. But we're good to go. You've got 970 feet of road out here. You figure cars 10 feet. There's 80, 90 cars out in that road right there, plus out and around the street. Plus there's other that would be a wonderful problem to have. But if you go out this road here, out the back, the back entrance right here, there are businesses up here. And if we ran into that kind of a problem, we could switch and use the vans to shuttle them back and forth. So if we did have 2,000 people show up, we're in good shape.
Okay.
But again, I really want to give a lot of credit to the how accommodating the management of Algonquin, their facilities manager, Mike Foreman, assistant principal, Andy McGowan, and Superintendent Keith Lavoie have really been out of the way to make this work. Even switching AP classes that day to move kids around. We're taking over the auditorium on Saturday, the gym as well. So we'll be in there at 9 o'clock on Friday setting up, and we'll be there until Sunday getting materials out of there. And of course, we then have to pivot and bring it all down to Trotter to set up for the election on Tuesday. Andy Dowd, the retiring Northborough clerk, is helping us. We're borrowing 500 clickers from him to make this work. And I want to thank Mark Purple for coordinating the vans. I'm reminded of that Olympic sport curling, where when the ball's in play, all you're doing is sweeping in front of it. We're getting close to the sweeping stage. All right. So I think we're in pretty good shape, and I've had a lot of people give some good advice to make this work pretty well.
I did watch the Westboro town meeting where they used the clickers. Wonderful.
Mhm.
Smooth as silk there.
Yeah.
Great advice.
Is there a technological issue where with using the clickers where you have it in different rooms and making sure that you have like the right Wi-Fi system to link it all up?
Yes.
Okay.
Um, essentially, when you have different rooms like this, you put a receiver in each room and you program the receiver only to talk to a certain range of clickers. It's actually very simple to use in a room where all you have are, if we had 100 clickers in here, it's very simple. It picks up anything with the signal. But the vendor will program the receiver that will say clickers say 1 to 100 with orange lanyards. That's what we do at Trottier. If you want to sit in the cafeteria, you get an orange lanyard and it only works in that room. And we do that because when I tested them before, I found in some instances, the signal wasn't going to get from the cafeteria to the receiver in the auditorium, but it's possible that if somebody sat along the wall in the auditorium near the cafeteria, it would bleed across. So that's why we go to a system where the receiver, we use the orange lanyards for that cafeteria and they'll be used for the auditorium, and they are only slave to that receiver, which will be in the auditorium. I'm going back over for the 8th time to Algonquin this Thursday with the vendor. And the signal will then be brought on some fiber that they'll be using with the signals to bring everything from there back into the auditorium. Same principle. So then in the gymnasium here and the auditorium at Southborough, the receiver that you have in that room is slaved only to pick up a certain range of signals as well. So even though the distance here in the walls is great, that there's about a 1 in a billion chance here that a signal would bleed through, the safest way is just to do it that way. And that's how the vendor will set it up. So that's it. And God forbid it would go wrong, we'll have the old-fashioned clickers available and tellers and all the other stuff we always have lined up just in case.
Jim, can you re-clarify the childcare situation in Algonquin? Because at first we were going to have separate childcare where you dropped your kid off. And as you know, that has been changed. So just clarify so that people
Sure.
don't think they have to register still for that.
Right, we simplified it immensely. Again, it's the same system we have at, for the Southboroughs that have gone to, used our annual town meetings. Any parent can decide last minute or whatever they want. Just show up with the child. You're going to come in right through the front here in this area right here. Or if you park in the back, you're coming in there either way. You're going to go in here, you're going to register, and you're going to be directed to this room right here. So they don't have to register. It doesn't matter whether they come with 1 child or 20 children, but they will sit with their child in there and they have to remain with the child. And it's just as easy as simple as can be. And I appreciate the willingness of folks to change from what was initially thought of as a pre-registration. I just thought that was a train wreck waiting to happen. Somebody show up without the child or this or that. And, we do it one way at our meeting in Southborough, one in Algonquin. Let's keep it simple. And if you want to come with your child, we'll fit you and we'll make it work. So it's easy. And frankly, it also reduces the number of people we need, no babysitting, no anything else. And parents are responsible for their kids. We have 18 different signs that have been put up in and around the building, everything direct people to bathrooms, to how to get across, to who's on first. We even have little red markers going on the floor that follow the red brick road, just because. So it's working out pretty well. And we've gone so far as to identify the electrical outlets in the different rooms, which fuses they are on which panel, just because. I don't want to be standing there with a flashlight at the wrong time. I don't know right now whether we will have coffee and things for the Girl Scouts in the morning. I don't know the answer to that. We'll find out in the next couple of weeks. We have plenty of time to figure that out.
But you can bring coffee into the gymnasium as long as you got a top on it?
As long as you have a sealed cup. You can't bring in a McDonald's or Dunkin' Donuts, or God forbid a Starbucks.
Screw top kind of thing.
Any kind of a screw top, a Yeti, something like that, sure. Anything that's not under secure, like, I look at the 2 lids you have here or something like that, you're okay. Or the one that Andrew has with the cap or Mark has. Yeah. That's
Are you going to fill up the seats first, the chairs, before you go to the bleachers?
Nope, fielder's choice. You can go whenever you'd like. Just to spice things up, there will be 1 white chair amongst the 800. We'll see who chooses that, just because. It's just a thing. It's actually beige. We wanted to try something a little different. But people, if they want to sit up in the bleachers, they can. If they want to sit down low, that's entirely up to them. And we will have people inside to assist people, and we'll have wheelchairs for folks. We'll have 3 wheelchairs up front in case anybody needs help with the distance. But this is also the shortest path to get to the gym of all these activities. And no one's getting lost. It's straightforward.
So I guess I've never even been in the gym.
Mhm.
Where will the speakers be in the gym? Will they have a raised anything? Will they be on the floor?
Well, the people in the audience will be facing towards the parking lot, okay? So the projection screen will be at this end of the hall. The moderator will be right on a raised platform, and there'll be another podium where my button is showing on this side with a raised platform. So a speaker could stand at that item to do it. Nice riser on a, they call it a riser on a podium. It'll be right here. So, but again, the audience will be facing towards this arrow. They're all going to come in the back here and face towards the front.
Select board and advisory will be on the main floor level, not on a riser.
There's no sub-basement, but you'll be on the main floor.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll be on the main floor. Actually, you'll be a little different. You'll be to the right and left of the screen because the technology for this is a little offset. It's a projector actually against the back wall. The screen is about 12 or 15 feet from the wall.
Hmm.
So you'll actually be to the right and left of that. So it's going to be off the ground as well, but same effect. You'll be up front.
The reason there might be this many people here is Medfield did a similar project in 21 to what we're doing. Same grade configuration. Medfield's got 12,000 and change. We've got 10,004 and change. This was COVID, and they had 2,000 people that came to theirs. So that's why the gym is at least ready for 2,000.
Yeah, it'd be a bad day in River City if we had more people show up than we were prepared for. So, and this would be the largest meeting we've had. I checked that back. I want to say there was one 20 some odd years ago,
The
21.
Algonquin was a huge one over at.
Yeah, the
EMC
Algonquin meeting
back
was,
then.
Yeah,
I
But
think
there
it
was
was
one
over
even-
1,800.
yeah. So I think we're going to be okay. Plus you get the dynamic of going to Northborough. We'll see how that plays out as
You
well.
got what?
The dynamic of going to Northborough, that might impact some people as well. That's really all I have. We're in pretty good shape. We have a few balls in the air, but nothing, I don't think there's anything that we have to do between now and the start that's unmanageable. And we don't have any significant impediments to pull this off. So I think we're going to be in pretty good shape, and let's just hope for good weather.
So Paul, can you hear us now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
All right. I don't know if Vanessa wants to try video on me or not. I'm not dressed nearly as well as Jim, but I wanted to come on and say, let's see what happens. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
I wanted to come on and say a couple things.
Just lost your audio. We can see you now, Paul.
And now he's done it himself because he's.
Just lost your audio.
All right, how about now?
Good.
Okay, we got both. I'm just gonna hurry then. So, I wanted to come on and say a couple things about electronic voting. And the first is about the logistics of electronic voting. Jim has said, quite a bit about that, and I can tell you, as you all might, not be surprised to hear, you know, we had a little bit of a snafu at the last town meeting, and Jim has thought about little else, trust me, since then, because it was just such a fluky thing that occurred. But you know, belt and suspenders, 2 belts, 2 sets of suspenders. Jim is regrouped, ready to go. And as he mentioned, the vendor is coming as well. The reason I sort of recap all that is because I've had some feedback about or some concern, you know, some folks with concerns about the logistics of the electronic voting. I have no concerns whatsoever. And as far as I'm concerned, we're ready to go with it, and it's going to be flawless. Now, that's number 1 out of my 2. Number 2 is nothing I just said has any bearing on the use or the choice to use electronic voting. And I have said in the past, and I'll reiterate now, that it is not something that is we are defaulting to. And in many cases will not save us any time unless a vote is very close. We have lots of votes where the hands go up, the hands come down, and we move on. So I don't want folks to get the wrong impression that the fact that we have it and that it's flawless means we're necessarily going to use it, like, for example, for every article or even most articles. I think at this next town meeting, which is on Monday, we will use it more than I probably plan to in the future, because it is the first one where we're going to have the ability to sort of get our sea legs under us, right? Do some sea trials on this system. And we'll want to prove it out for ourselves and for the folks in the audience. But I do want to distinguish, that's all, between the ability to do it and actually doing it. And you know, unless there's any questions, that's all I had to say about that. But you know, Jim is full steam ahead, and I'm very grateful to everything he's done to put us on the right course.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Is there anything, I want to get out ahead of social media and some summaries that are written about what I discussed tonight. So I want to, what I intend to do tonight is to get out and launch this and ask Beth about the blog to replace what I summarized to you on the blog, and also get this out through social media so people will understand. I don't want to be in a situation, recall that, well, somebody said we have to register babysitting. I want to get ahead of the curve, so to speak. Is there anything that I have said to you tonight that I should clarify besides the poor joke?
Do you think it makes sense to encourage carpooling in the message? And we're talking about for these special time. But
You know, I hadn't thought about that, and I like that for a couple of reasons. One, it saves the parking, but it also, if somebody is getting cold feet about attending and they've decided to go with their neighbor, they're going to show up.
force anyone, but you could get it in people.
Right. Right. And somebody asked me my own opinion, whether I was in favor or opposed to whatever. I said, I don't care if they vote for the tooth fairy. And my job is just to try to give everybody an opportunity to cast their decision in any way they want on all these things in the most fair manner. So yeah, the more seats we can do full, I think that's a really good idea, and I'll do that. And there's something I forgot to mention. I'll get to elections in a section. We're done with it. That's a good idea. I'll throw that in as well, like that.
I know we chatted the other day,
Yep.
about this and that it wasn't going to be cheap. Do you have a current estimate of what, this particular meeting is going to cost us?
I don't, because the number for the auditorium could be substantial. I don't know that yet. I did give advisory a heads up, but I'd rather not give a number now and come back with a number that's up substantially,
It's bigger than a bread box, though.
bigger than a bread truck.
It's
Yeah.
bigger than his budget will absorb, so he is.
Yeah,
going to
I
have-
had no money in the budget for this, yeah. But I honestly, and every expense in here, I got at least 3 estimates on it. And, you know, we did, even the ones we weren't required to. I got 4 estimates on the chairs. So just trying to,
For the record, I'm not complaining about this, you know,
Yep.
we have to spend what we have to spend to have a
Yeah.
proper town meeting.
but I don't want to throw a number now when I'm still in the middle of it and then come back and say, yeah, but you said X, and somebody will take that and run off. So I hope to be able to get a number to advisory and Andrew by this Saturday, when I have a hard number from the other piece of it. There's even some changes we made at a meeting at Algonquin yesterday that'll impact some of this stuff that I have to outsource that they were unable to provide. So I just want to button all the numbers down and estimate the labor for all the other costs. So we're in pretty good shape.
All right. So do you want to say anything else about the town election on the 13th?
Yes, please. Any voter can request, the election's going to be held at the gymnasium at Trotter, 6:30, 8 o'clock. Anybody can request a vote by mail ballot be mailed to them. I've been surprised at how few people have requested ballots to be mailed to them. Just a handful, very little.
What's the timetable on doing that?
It's on the town website, or they can call me. I'll be happy to mail it to them. It's a fillable PDF. They can return it by email, in person, snail mail, whatever you want. The deadline to submit the application is 5 work days before any election, so it's May 6th. All right. And I actually saw that. I don't have that on the website, so that's one of my things to resolve tonight. And parents, or actually any household member, can request a ballot be mailed to anybody else. Even roommates can request a ballot to be mailed. The ballots have to be returned to us by 8 o'clock the night of the election. I'm going to get to that in a second. People always ask, when are we going to mail the ballots? I can't mail them until after the deadline I can't even request the ballots to be printed until after the deadline to withdraw, which is actually April the 10th. The draft's already at the vendor. And at 5:01 PM on April 11, I'm going to give them the go ahead to print. So by the time we get them, by the time we test them, because it has happened not to us, thankfully, at other towns that the ballots have not worked properly, we expect to be able to have them all emailed to people by April 22. Okay. The ballots have to be received to us by 8 o'clock. And a request that I have is, unfortunately, there are some people that wait till the last minute and have dropped them off outside here at 7:59 in the ballot box. The problem with that is that we can't just take them down to the election. We have to bring them inside and log them into the state system, then bring them down. But the polling place can't start the process to close until those ballots are brought down. So you have 20 plus election workers who are our neighbors that are standing around waiting until 8:20 because Mary Smith decided at 7:59 she could drop the ballot off. So, I don't know how you change human behavior on that. I put flyers in, I put pink notices and all kinds of stuff. Please return this as soon as possible. Someone has a right to drop it off at 7:59, but my day starts around 4 o'clock and some of these workers starts at 5:30. So it's a long day. And I'd ask people just to try to, it's in everyone's interest to get it earlier. It just really is. And for those of you who are on the ballot, the sooner we get this done, the sooner you'll know if you're won the race. So,
How do you know someone dropped it off at 7:59 versus 8:01?
because I have somebody standing there and at 8 o'clock, they flip it, put a sign up, come in a date, sign, stamp it, and then we have to process it through the system. So literally if you're 3 seconds away, at 8 o'clock comes, it stops. With no answers or buts about that. Same voting in the morning. We have people come in at 6:15. Can I vote? No, no. We published at 6:30. It has to be 6:30. But no, we have somebody right outside and that's the way it has to be. But I say that only because the rules for when you return ballots vary from federal elections and certain state elections. But for this, it's the local elections, it's 8 o'clock straight up. So that's something that, again, when we mail the ballots out, we'll have a big orange flyer to ask people to do that. Try to help them remind that.
Kathy, I had a question. Actually, Will Warren and I have been on the same committee and I would like, you've been raising your hand, Will, and I'd be interested to know what your question for Jim is.
My question just is on
You go to
We'll go to
microphone.
that microphone
Microphone.
right there, that one. Well, you can go to this one too, either one, just go to a microphone. Introduce yourself first.
I'm Will Warren, 6 Sunrise Drive. This was turned off. There you go.
Okay. I'm Will Warren. I live at 6 Sunrise Drive. And I just have a question about when the big vote comes on May 10th. Will we first raise our hands before we using the clickers if it's too close?
That's entirely up to the moderator.
That's for me, and I haven't made that decision yet, Mr. Rogers.
Well, I would just like to point out that maybe only for technological reasons, but I don't believe we've ever had a secret ballot on a town issue like this in the past. And I would feel uncomfortable if we started a secret ballot without the town approving it.
Well, there's no chance of that, because I'm personally certainly not for it, so don't worry about that.
Okay, I mean, I know that the vendor on their website says that's allowing for secret ballots at town meetings is an advantage or a possible use of this technology. And I don't think we should start on this particular referendum with secret ballots. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other questions for Jim and or Paul?
Nope.
Everybody's happy? So good job, Jim. I know, I think, I'm pretty sure he's had some sleepless nights over this. So thank you for all the work that you have done to get this pulled off.
Thank you. And you're welcome to take a bunch of Vulcan Mill applications tonight to give to your friends and family. I'm dead serious about that. Plenty
Where are they?
downstairs if you want to grab them. I'll have them downstairs on the way out. I'll be here when you're leaving.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, reports. So I'm going to start with
21 Highland.
No, they're not coming, sorry. I should have said that. So, Freddie was under the weather and her, substitute, Kristen, had another meeting at 7. We couldn't change the liquor license hearing because it's posted, so they are going to come, we believe, on the 15th. What? She's got her hand up?
Kristen, in the audience, yeah.
Yeah, quickly.
Hi, it's hold on. Hi, it's Kristen. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm on. Given that I'm doing both of our meetings right now at once, recreation, as well as your meeting. I don't want to hold up unnecessarily any questions on the report. I mean, it is an interim report, so I didn't expect much feedback or questions, and that we're working towards our June 30th final report. And of course, we all recognize that there's so many dependencies between the annual town meetings, but I am here and rec has quorum if there are any questions that you wanted to ask.
So just to be clear, you're in the middle of a rec meeting right now?
We have quorum on the rec meeting. We're discussing something that I said I could excuse myself for a couple of minutes just to come on to this meeting. I'm happy to come to the deferred date, but I also don't want to hold up if you have any questions.
Let's do it on the 15th.
All right, so we're just going to, we're going to postpone this, Kristen, to the 15th when Freddie can come also.
Okay.
Is that okay?
So there's no pending or pressing questions about the interim report from the select board?
I think I can't wait till the 15th.
But that would give us time to react before the 15th if there were any concerns.
Does anybody want to give her a heads up on any questions that they have that they can be ready for? Al? Marguerite? Sam? Andrew?
Well, I mean, my question, which and you could probably anticipate, is what are you thinking of as your own timeline for how you get to June 30th? You know, I know there was a small section at the end that addressed it, but.
So yeah, to your point, that's better to address when the full committee's there, but we do have a project plan with confirmed dates to make sure that we get in all the public forums that we're looking for, feedback, et cetera. So to your point, I don't want to present that without the full committee, but we feel confident.
Okay.
Good enough? Good enough?
Yep.
Okay, Kristen, so we will see Freddie and possibly you on the 15th?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. All right. Okay, chair's report. So NERI project. So at this point, and we're almost there, the work's been going on for 5 years. I've been on committees for 5 years for this. I've been involved in more than 100 meetings, so it's coming to a head. There's a lot of forums going on right now. Last night, the finance subcommittee did a Zoom forum and was well attended. I've got the deck that we went over. We're going to do that again on Thursday night. There's going to be much more detail on Thursday night. So Thursday night is a joint meeting. It basically is going to repeat what we did on December 17th. So it's going to be NERI Building Committee to present again to advisory, to select board, and to K through 8. At that point, you guys have given me all the questions you have, so I've got those. I assume the other two groups will do the same thing. I think that one's going to be pretty well attended to as far as the public goes. So once we get through with our questions, we'll go to the public. We will take our official vote by the select board on the 15th as far as what goes in the warrant. I think advisory is planning on doing the same thing. So that's kind of the timeline going forward. But a couple of things I did want to point out as far as where we have ended up as far as money goes. So we didn't know this until Friday. Things finally got finished on Friday. So did I do that?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. At this point, we believe the town share of the entire project, including the original $950,000 that was approved in May of 22, is just above $68 million. So that would be our bond. That number has gone down from 123 million on May 9th to 68. So it's about a 45% decrease since then. The total project, we believe right now is about $109 million. The MSBA grant, which is what got confirmed on Friday, is $35,279,000. They are going to, the board, so that we met with staff on Friday, but this is a number, this is what they've recommended to their board. The board will vote on April 30th, which is why this timeline is the way it is. We have to then have town meeting shortly thereafter, which is why May 10th comes next. The current estimated impact to an average house, as far as taxes go, once the debt service is fully in place, is right now $703. That was $1,207 when we did this in August, so it's come down that much since then. That includes what we believe are significant operational savings in K through 8 through a reduction in headcount. The superintendent will go over that more on Thursday. So this was what was presented last night. We got some good questions. I added a couple slides because of the questions. I added the one that shows what our debt would be from our general fund if this is approved. It would be well within the Mass DOR guidelines of 5% of equalized value. Just call it value. That value right now is almost $3.8 billion. 5% is $190 million. With the NERI debt and everything we have in place today, that our debt would be 94 million, which is substantially less than $190 million. And this is all possible because the debt is so low today. The other DOR recommendation is they'd like to keep the actual annual debt service on your general obligation debt at less than 10% of your total revenue. The year that we believe that the project will be fully bonded, the revenue is expected to be $92 million. That's $9.2 million as far as the cap on debt service. The debt service with NERI in there and all the other debt we have outstanding will be about $8 million, which is 8.7%. So we're well within the guidelines of what the Mass DOR establishes. When you don't even consider, we're talking about school debt. With school debt, they make an exception. We don't even need the exception to fall within their guidelines. So we are very comfortable with the numbers. We feel like we've worked really hard to get the number down as far as we can. We think it's a good project, and we will go into really great depth on Thursday night. So this is just a brief report just to kind of tee this up for Thursday night. Okay. All right. All right, who is next? Marguerite.
We're not dealing with childcare because that's not happening, right?
No, Jim was already doing that. I put that only before I knew he was coming, so he's taking care of the child.
Good, okay. This will be quick. I have been investigating ways to lower taxes for seniors and people who need a break, some kind of tax relief on their real estate tax. And I talked to the assessor's office in Northborough and also Westborough. And Lori Esposito, who is our deputy assessor here in Southborough, is the person who, yes, thank you, drew this up, which is a chart of funds that are available for tax relief for various categories within the town. I think the most important thing I can say right now is if you think that you're entitled to some mitigation of your real estate tax bill, call Lori Esposito. She's 508-485-0720. She said the fiscal year 25 is done, but 26 is open. Okay, so in addition to what you're seeing up there, there's also something that the state offers, which is called a Massachusetts Senior Circuit Breaker Tax Credit. And you can have up to $109,000 for married filing jointly on your Mass state return. And the mitigation on that is $2,700 off your state tax bill. So again, contact Lori if you've got questions. I think that not a lot of people are aware of the tax breaks that are available. Lori is going to do a brochure that we're going to distribute at the Senior Center with Youth and Family Services, where Sarah Castle also has an application that's similar to what Lori will be able to offer. And I'm hoping that people in town who are entitled to a break on their real estate and also their state taxes are able to take advantage of this. And thank you to Vanessa for putting this slide up. Again, Sarah Castle, our new senior center head, will also be able to help you, as you saw this evening, and Lori Esposito at the assessor's office. So I won't say anything more than that, but there is tax relief available, and homeowners should check out if it applies to them. Okay, that's,
If there are brochures, are we gonna hand some of that out at the town meeting, special town meeting?
great idea. Thank you. All right, so that's it.
That's a great chart, Marguerite.
Lori.
Yep, very, very helpful. Very helpful. All right, what else do we have? Al? Wastewater?
The wastewater. The wastewater study committee has met. We have submitted 2 expressions of interest for the one-stop program, one for a downtown sewer district, and the second one is to begin the process of geotechnical services for the Route 9 project. We now have to actually fill out the grant requests. I had a brief conversation with the Public Utilities Commissions, trying to explore the idea about whether we could actually provide wastewater services via a private company. I'm actually having a Zoom with them on tomorrow. Beyond that, we are moving along expeditiously.
I have a quick report.
Yeah, go ahead. I didn't forget.
I have a quick report. So this is a little bit of disappointing news. You might recall that we made a decision to apply for a grant from the MAPC, Metropolitan Area Planning Council, for a technical assistance program grant for review of Route 9 commercial zoning. Spent, a pretty good amount of time on it with Leah Emerson and Vanessa and me and some others. And the awards were announced on the 20th of March, and we were not on the list of communities getting the award. So I wanted to let people know of the result of that. I don't have any necessarily lessons learned or debrief.
The reason why we didn't, yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, sometimes we get dinged
Yeah.
because we're a wealthy community, relatively speaking.
Well, some of our peer communities right next to us also was.
Yeah.
So, but, one of the things I know that Leah and I have talked about a little bit is, can we do a better job of kind of advocating for ourselves on the MAPC?
Yep.
And so that's something that we can talk about at a later point.
We do have a MAPC representative, at least one, and a couple of Metro West Regional Collaborative, which is a subgroup of that. I'm and Mimi Luttrell are on the Metro West group.
What about the umbrella group?
Debbie DeMaria, I think, is an MAPC, as I recall. So did you actually talk to Debbie about getting her to lobby for us? That'd be useful next time around.
Andrew? Did
Yes.
they give reasons why it didn't succeed? Does the state give reasons why the grant was not accepted?
Well, this isn't the state per se, it's the MAPC, but I haven't heard anything. No.
Where do they get their money?
Where does the MA, I
I
think
think
through,
some state money, but it's also member money.
Yeah,
We pay dues.
yeah, we pay
to
dues.
MAPC.
The town does?
Yeah.
So,
Maybe we shouldn't pay them.
That's right. They
So
could be.
back to Al for a second. So we're now going to have 3 one-stop grants going in. Is that right? We're going to have the one for Route 9, right? And then you're doing 2. We've got 3 going in.
Expressions of interest.
Well, 3 of, but which leads to the grant itself. So we intend to submit 3 grants. Is that
In the wayfinding.
4? And the Wayfinder too?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
4. Okay, because that time's going to be here soon. This is April, right? It always sneaks up on us. So everybody's so the date is June 2nd, 3rd or something? To be actually submitted? Okay. Alrighty, Mark.
So I had, so one extra item tonight, if you came in the townhouse tonight, the normal entrance, you could see there's a lot of construction work out there. I do want to thank John Parent and, Bill Cunder for their coordination. Tomorrow, the company, the contractor will be here pouring, the concrete walkway for the easterly side of the walkway. The back entrance, the main entrance will remain open, tomorrow. And then it is going to be closed Thursday and Friday as they prep the westerly side. And then that pour will happen Friday morning. So really, we're only going to have 2 days where we can't use the main access for the building. We will use the westerly access on the side of the building for those 2 days. So it shouldn't be too much inconvenience. And again, this has been a good amount of coordination. And some of this work is part of the ARPA that was assigned by the board. And then some of the plantings and that need to be continued is just a culmination of the townhouse project, which took care of the roof and the windows. In your packet, there was some information about the Northborough and Southborough Go Green to recognize awareness for mental health. It's May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And Friday, May 2nd is the kickoff for that. And so they're encouraging people to wear green. If you remember this time last year, there was these small little baskets around the townhouse. We had one at the select board, youth and family would go out and put them out. Small ribbons. If you got there early, there were these really nice metal pins, green pins. I have mine on my desk. So I will wear that proudly. So on May 2nd, you know, if you're able to wear green, show your support. Usually the townhouse will take a picture, put it up on our social media to show our support. It's all good to help support the efforts from the Northborough Health and Human Services and also Southborough's Youth and Family Services. So one other thing, I just want to, since she happens to be in the room, just acknowledge the work that we've been doing in our office, especially Vanessa Hale, with regards to all these hirings. Seems we go through these periods where we don't hire anybody for 3 or 4 months, and then we hire 5 or 6 people. So Vanessa has been working, obviously, to the process to bring Peg forward tonight, which really appreciate the board's support on that. She's also been working with the town clerk to help him fill some of the vacancies in his office. We'll begin now working to fill Peg's position down at the senior center. And she's also been lending a hand with the regional dispatch in doing some of the early rounds and coordinating things for the search process for the executive director. So appreciate the help. That's all I have.
Kudos. Ditto. All right, consent agenda, pretty small. We got 3 things, two sets of minutes and Arbor Day and a donation. Anybody want to hold the minutes?
Nope.
Really?
Wow.
Really? Okay, Bridget.
Let me go back and read again.
This is truly, and now to Mark. Okay, no minutes. I assume nobody wants to be in C either, right? Okay, so Andrew, make a motion.
Okay, I think the motion is to approve everything.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
Okay.
A, B, and C.
Not used to this.
No, never.
Sorry, guys, I'll work harder.
All right. I made the motion.
Second.
All in favor? All right, moving on. Okay, so the next one is a request from the Tricentennial Committee to expand their membership from 7 to 9. They've got a lot going on, as Vanessa knows, and having trouble to get it all done. They're working hard to raise money. They're working hard to plan the events that they want to have. So they want 2 more people to give them some more bodies to help out with all this stuff. Anything else you want to add to that?
Sure,
Okay.
so.
Oh, sorry, Andrew, what am I doing? You're on the committee.
I'm gonna
So
read
sorry.
this email from Don Morris, who wrote to Vanessa about this. I'm unable to attend the select board meeting tonight. Thank you for putting our request to increase the size of the committee on the agenda. Please feel free to read this to the board. The work is increasing and we simply need more volunteers to accomplish our goal for a year-long celebration and educational experience in 2027. Increasing the committee from 7 to 9 members will help spread out the workload, and each additional member will branch out to more volunteers. Shrewsbury has a 9-member committee. We currently have several volunteers working on fundraising and a few more working on the grand parade. It's time to put more effort into planning and executing more events, including the family barbecue and concert, the gala, fireworks, laser show, drone show, historic tours, band concert, and more. We respectfully request that you take the steps necessary to increase our members by 2. Thank you, Don Morris, Chair of the Tricentennial Committee. And I certainly support this request.
Yeah, you, of course, you're on the committee. I forgot, sorry. Hey, anybody have any issue with for any of this request?
Nope, I've been watching the meetings and they do have a lot going on, sir. And a lot of great ideas, actually, good things.
And so I'm very involved in the 501c3 that supports this, the Friends of the Southborough 300, and they are busy. They keep me hopping as far as the stuff I've got to do. I support it too. Okay, Andrew, you want to make? a
Or
motion
I
to
move
commit?
that we increase. I move that we amend the charge of the Tricentennial Committee to increase its membership from 7 to 9.
7 at large to,
7 at,
what was it, 4 at large?
There's 3 appointed and
So you,
4 at
yeah,
large, so you're going to go to 6 at large.
6, correct.
okay, to increase the number of at-large members to 6 members.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, done. Vanessa, done. Andrew.
We'll
Okay.
recruit.
All right, so we're back to our second public comment. Is there anyone in the audience with a hand raised? Who's here? Jim?
Second, thanks.
All right.
We do have public.
Is this on? I deeply regret what I'm going to have to do right now. I'm bitterly disappointed. Over the past several weeks, I worked with the treasurer to try and develop a big picture of all of the debt and the potential debts that the town is facing. I asked that analysis be presented tonight, and I was denied. I was denied and told that I would have to vet my analysis with others. I am a member elected by the citizens of this town, and I have a reputation for doing this type of analysis, but I was declined. What really offends me is that we just recently heard a very similar presentation to the one I was going to make, but it is incomplete. It doesn't, for example, include the roughly 4% that the state suggests be allocated, 4% of debt service be allocated to capital maintenance. That would bring us up in excess of 12%. It does not have any consideration for future debts. The 3 future debts that are potentially on the books and likely to come due shortly include Choate Field. They include roughly $10 million in road bonding and a potential wastewater treatment plant, all of which would fall within the next 15 years, which is certainly a period in which the town will be bearing the debt service relative to the Neary school. I'm disappointed because, you know, I put a lot of work into doing this, and I'm disappointed because the thing that I was told I had to do does not appear to have been done with the representations that were made. It leads me to wonder whether I should bother continue doing any of this or whether I'm simply on a fool's errand. And whether, you know, I'm just wasting my time on this board. Thank you very much.
So that's a public comment, so it's not on the agenda, so we really can't respond. Everybody agree? All right, on that lovely note, so can someone make a motion to, I'll make the motion. Okay, so we're going to enter into executive session per MGL Chapter 30A, Section 21. We will not return to open session to discuss the following: contract negotiations for the DPW Union and Communication Officers Union, which is exemption 2. I review and approve executive session minute meetings, February 25th, 2025, March 18th, 2025. Exemption 7, as the chair has determined that an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the town's position. So can I have a motion to go into executive session?
So move.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote. Al? Well, you guys
Aye.
gonna do it? Al, Marguerite?
Aye.
Sam?
Aye.
Andrew?
Aye.
Lucas, aye.